We could talk about. We could talk about. I know one thing was Burnley, that Burnley game.
Oh,
White
the
Lives Matter.
Birmingham City.
Yeah, the plane. Um, across the stadium while the game was playing. White Lives Matter and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that was just like that was evil. Honestly, I don't think
Yeah,
there's any other word um that could describe that. Basically on how sensitive everything is right now,
yeah,
and especially the direction that the Premier League is taking. You know what I mean? Like with putting the Black Lives Matter on the back of the shirts and stuff like that. On the armband and on the let's say armband on the
Shoulder pads.
on the sleeve of the shirts and everything like that. Like I just think it's just malicious, like
yeah,
malicious intent, really
Yeah.
just trying to distract people from
Yeah.
yeah,
the I would say like the time of
The
what's
moment,
going
really.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a huge moment.
basically.
To be honest, though, I'm not surprised that it was a Burnley supporter or a group of Burnley supporters. If you are from Burnley, or if you know about the town of Burnley, when it comes to like Brexit, they voted overwhelmingly like to leave the European Union. Like they're very much the people who are like, we want our country back. Like those are the type of people.
So
Who
shout out to AB's British accent. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
it's very much those people. So
yeah.
I'm not that surprised because if they were in America, those would be the All Lives Matter folks. Like
Yeah.
they just happen to be British. Different side to the same coin.
Yeah. Wait, Carl, do you know what happened?
Nah, but I'm
So
piecing
someone,
it together. Someone went over the
someone
soccer
ordered a plane and it went over the stadium and said "White Lives Matter." And I saw the post, and everybody in the comments was like, "I mean, yeah, he's not wrong because all lives matter." And I was just like, "Then for those people, they're not understanding the point."
Thank you.
People, bro.
You're missing the point. Like,
this is where the distraction happens, bro. And this is
like
where the
that-
distraction happens.
Yeah, like I forgot who talked about it last time, like the Michael Che part, like the Michael Che.
Oh yeah, I talked about
and
it.
his thing is like they're not saying Black lives are more important or only Black lives matter. We're just saying matters. Not
are we still having this discussion though? Like I'm tight.
And because some people just don't understand it.
I'm so tight, bro. Like the thing you posted, we posted on the story, the Banter with the Brothers story, the comedian.
Yeah, that's what Joe was talking about.
Yeah, bro. Like, are we
that was from like 4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Now.
Yeah.
My thing is to all those people, if you are one of those people and you find yourself listening to this podcast at any point in time, it don't matter if this is the year 2022 and you're listening to this message, what could we say that is less than matters that would make you feel comfortable? Because all we said was it mattered.
Black lives exist.
Yes, exactly. All we said was that it mattered. And people was like, nah, I ain't with this. Nope, no, sir.
Like
I'm not with that shit.
Before the show even started, I put up the Bill Russell post where he said that ever since I've been in America, I haven't seen all men being treated equally in America. Like, and it's part of the July 4th Independence Day.
Yeah, that's one of the main core principles of America. All men are created equal.
And yet, I literally before the show had like a 30-minute like convo with some kid about like the importance of it, but they just didn't understand it or grasp it. And it's just like, some people just don't grasp it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. The foundations of countries are built on, like, when we look at all country independence, bro, like the history always wants to show you like some sweet stuff, you know what I mean? We fought for liberty, we fought for independence, whatever, we're all equal. But bro, if you look back to if you do your research, if you look back to the real history, there is so much shit in between, people doing so much malice, evil, people killing people, like taking over, like the foundation of this country is
it's the foundation of pretty much any country.
Yeah,
but like the point is though is just like, all right.
Well, most countries, because it's more so like
they did it in the name of Christ too.
Yeah, bro. White people.
To be fair,
the white people just didn't mind their fucking business, and you want to be in everybody's business. going to other countries, especially.
Well, I mean, it's not even white countries. It's every country, bro. Like, I mean, the Mongolians was going ham in China, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could go to
Yeah.
yeah,
The
you know what
empire
I'm
stretched
saying?
from Asia to Europe.
yeah,
I
bro.
mean,
It's kill or be killed.
to be fair, when Carl, to that, you know, when America was created, the statement "all men are created equal." When that same document was signed, that
All
we
men
were
weren't
considered
created
we
equal.
were considered
3/5.
3/5 of a person.
3/5.
I mean, when we look at it, I mean, you go through the history lesson. It's like, all right, they pulled up, took all the Indian shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they was just like, yo, let's go get some slaves. Let's do this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On 3.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? Like,
On
and then like
1, 2, 3,
like,
break.
so like when you look at this shit, like everyone's like, yeah, man, America's great right now. And it's like, well, when you think about it, like we can go back like 150 years. We was fighting each other, shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't
No,
think
that's-
that people just like woke up the next day and was like, yeah, we fought. You know, it ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, but like,
I still remember that shit.
your conversation with that kid, bro, like, talk about independence, like what, like on what premise, you know what I mean? Like what was in America trying to get independent from when they were shackling people too? Like,
Well,
you know
I
what
mean,
Like,
when you
it's,
think about it, America was trying to get away from England.
no, of course,
Like, we
the
can do a whole
taxation.
history lesson.
Yeah. Taxation.
I mean, it wasn't
Boston
even like
Tea Party
it was
and
like
all that.
well, it's not even that though. I mean, you gotta go back to Lily was off of like their views and stuff like that.
Yeah,
mixed with a
Puritans.
bunch of people that got kicked out the country.
True.
So you
Exiled.
literally just got everybody, you know what I'm saying, on deck foe, you know what I'm saying, going over the
Deck
boat where everybody that
Mayflower.
has different views.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
just ran
Yeah,
through
no,
the shit.
it was based off of religion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Catholicism, Puritans, they didn't like that.
Yeah.
They bounced, et cetera. But like at the same time, it's like, you know, what's really like what is freedom? Know what I mean? Like what is independence? Because like America prides so much on that big picture of independence and like, you know, we're land of the free, home of the brave, but like, you know, that history speaks for itself. So
the base of the argument just comes down to all men being treated equal, you know, in which like the kid argued, well, it's in the laws now. It's like, well, do you think that laws are being upheld like on a day-to-day basis? Like, do you think that all men are created equal?
But the law says
treated equal, in which he would responded that, well, the law is this. And I said, well, you know that people have to uphold the law. You know,
also, think about
That's-
how many laws get broken on a daily basis. You go on a highway, the speed limit is 60. How many of y'all actually go to speed limit? So yeah,
True.
that's the law.
That's a law.
That don't mean you follow it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you just in case they look and I do. But anyway, but like the whole point was that like, all right, well, since laws are meant to be broken, all right, like what can we do to fix it? And I was like, well, then that's why you have law officials. That's why you have law enforcement, which is the whole point of the movement of fixing the law enforcement and law system so that a lot of this stuff that is unjust doesn't happen in the future. And he said, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, that's going to take a long time. Yes, it is. That's the whole point of the movement. Otherwise, it's going to be stagnant. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You think like when people were fighting during in the civil rights movement that they were like, you know what, this shit gonna be fixed by 1970.
But
no.
Also, you gotta understand it. Like that movement wasn't even. You gotta think of this. Like when the LGBT community asked for equal rights, right?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta think about it. Like back then, it wasn't equal rights; it was civil rights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a big difference. That doesn't mean that like we want equal rights. We just want to be civil. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of just like, all right, the movement now is kind of like equal rights. If people want to think about it like that, like that's all you're asking at the end of the day is this to be treated like all men are supposed to be treated in this country.
Their movement is crazy too because they was like, yeah, we want to be treated equal, and people really sat there and was like, nah, son, not with all that.
That's crazy, bro. Like that's crazy.
You know, that's also baffling. Yeah, one of them disrespect me the way they did.
Because I mean, did you see the clip where it was like the one guy? He was just like, "Yo, why are you having the Confederate flag news? Like my grandfather fought for this farm," and the guy was like, "So who was on that farm though?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a lot of people don't like think back for like history. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And like,
He said, yeah, we worked it ourselves. Slaves were expensive back then.
Like,
yeah, like we supposed to be like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God it was expensive.
Thank God. Oh,
Thank God. Thank God the price. Thank God the price went up.
Right? Like I thought you bought me at the
Bro.
dollar store. Shit.
Goddamn.
So,
Yo,
okay,
bro,
what's
they was selling slaves less than I don't even know.
Bro,
I don't even want to think
right?
about that.
You
Bro.
see, I was on my phone for a while. I was trying
Yeah.
to look for this thing that happened on Instagram. So Ian Wright, he's a ex professional soccer player. He used to play for Arsenal or whatever, right? Black soccer player. He was playing in England at a time where people were openly racist, right? So and it was a quote from Trevor Noah. Everybody
Yes.
knows what Trevor Noah is,
Yeah.
right? So it goes when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, they said this is not the right way to protest. When MLK marched in Selma, they said this is not the right way to protest. When people march in the street of South Africa during apartheid, they said this is not the right way to protest. There's no right way to protest because
protest.
that's what protest is. It can't be considered a right by the system that it's protecting, right?
Yeah.
So I opened the comments because I saw Sylvan Distin, right? He used to be an ex-professional soccer player in the Premier League. He's black, right? Forget what country he's from. He's black, right? So people are under there and they were talking about a bunch of stuff. These are majority British people under the comments, right? But this one guy was trying to tell him, like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Two white guys having a conversation with each other. They're going sick. So I commented the one I agree with, right? Like, yeah, don't mind that guy, whatever. He doesn't even live in America. I know there's racism in England as well. But over here, people are innocently getting shot. You know what I mean? Like people done got killed in England. Innocent black people done got killed in England over the same, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but significantly less.
But like at the rate that's over here, and I said something to dude that I agreed with, and the other dude was like, yo, but I can't find my comment. I don't know where my comment went. I was trying to find his comments too, and I can't find it. So my point is, like, this whole situation, people just gotta look at it clear. Like, which one of you guys would like to switch places with us?
Facts.
Yeah. That's kind of what. So Carl was like, we were having this conversation. You were having the conversation with someone saying like, oh, this country is great and stuff. And like, I pride myself in like, being somewhat American. Obviously, I'm like first generation American and stuff. So like, I'm proud of this country, like, for whatever. But like, I feel like America is great because we can have these conversations and continue to have these conversations. And Jeb was just like, who wants to switch places with me, switch places with a black guy? And I talked about this earlier with someone, like, obviously I'm not black, and I feel very strongly about this because you guys are my friends. I have a lot of black friends that either have faced some sort of discrimination or just like understand how people feel around the world and stuff. And the biggest thing for me is like when someone says, "Oh, you're not black, you can't talk about this conversation." Meanwhile, there's hundreds of thousands of white people and other people trying to advocate for Black Lives Matter. I think what people don't understand when specifically white people don't understand why white people are protesting for it is because, like, me and like other people, we see through the eyes of you guys, through the eyes of other black people. And like, I understand that, it's shit's fucked up. Like, obviously I'm half Asian. I've never been like racially abused or like discriminated because I'm Asian or whatever. But like, I understand that some people have been. And if people are logical and be like, yeah, you know what? That guy's knee shouldn't have been on his neck for that long. Like, it's that simple. Like,
Yeah.
like it's I talked to this white cop came into the place that I work, and I work in Home Depot and like plumbing or whatever, and we were talking, and he was like, yeah, that guy in Minneapolis should have never had that badge in the first place. The fact that he was training people, the fact that he was out on the streets patrolling, there was no reason that guy should have been there and stuff. And that's kind of why I still stand with cops at some point, because they hold other cops accountable. Obviously, I know someone that was trying to post about like police brutality, and he was a police officer or he worked with policemen, but it's a conflict of interest because at the end of the day, it's their job still as well. But like, the reason why I love this country so much is because we have these conversations, and even though there's still arguments going about it and stuff, there's progress. Like a lot of progress has been made ever since the protests have started, and obviously no one's gonna stop protesting until there's heavy changes, and that's why I like everything that's going on right now. That for some, why I'm trying to figure out the right words, like how logical is it to say like, oh yeah, all lives matter? Well, like instead of saying Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. It's like, yeah, all lives matter, but they, like Black people understand all lives matter. So, but they're saying our lives aren't mattering right now to the rest of the world. So they have people are just stupid and not understanding the whole thing and looking through other people's eyes.
To an extent, Joe, I feel like part of that is they just don't want to understand.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At this point, people have broken it down, and I've seen people on different posts online breaking it down in the most like eloquent ways you could possibly find. They're breaking it down easy for you. It's 1, then 2, then 3. But they'll read it and be like, nah, fuck this. I'm not really trying to. They're just not trying to understand it at this point. Yeah. So
there's a lot of ignorance.
Exactly. And people who are ignorant, a lot of them want to just stay in their ignorance because ignorance is bliss to a lot of people. So for them, if they act like, well, all this other fucked up shit ain't happening to me. So, you said something like how you're talking about, I've never experienced racism, but I know that it has happened to other Asian people. And that's something that like a lot of people will use somebody like, say, Candace Owens, who's Black, and be like, well, I've never experienced racism. And they'll be like, well, a Black person said they never experienced racism, so it's got to be true. Yeah. But it's nah, first of all, she's lying. Second of all, and I know she's lying for a fact because of the fact that she's from Stanford and she sued the city of Stanford for racial harassment, or I can't remember the exact suit, but it was something to do with racial behavior by a very prominent politician's son to her, which the NAACP, who she repeatedly calls out, came to her defense, and she won like damn near $40,000. So, but y'all need to stop putting people like this who go up there and tear down, who are especially Black faces who go out there and tear down other Black people publicly. And a lot of people hide behind them and be like, well, it came out a Black person's mouth. Well, guess what? All skin folk ain't kinfolk. That motherfucker ain't rocking with us. So you need to take that opinion and ball it the fuck up and punt that shit as far as you possibly can away from me. Because if you come up with some stupid shit like that, I promise you, I will find the time to educate you. And that's all I'm gonna say on it.
And I think one thing too in the system, like I think from the beginning of learning or whatever, we don't know how to learn. Like, you know what I mean? How do you really learn something? Like, you really have to like make yourself. I wouldn't say. I mean, when you trying to learn something, you gotta really like start at ground zero. Like, no matter what you think you know, you don't know. And I think people are starting at the wrong place. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be at ground zero. I mean, before we all learned how to do math, we didn't know anything about it. We didn't even know how to add. Like, we were at ground zero, and someone had to bring us to a certain level. So it's like with every topic or whatever, we're trying to learn. In no matter what stage of life, you know what I mean? That's why they say you always learning. Like, you never stop learning. You have to come to a even if you're a 55-year-old, you know what I mean, old person, whatever, you lived through life, you've been seasoned in life, you've experienced so much, you can still learn from a young 23-year-old or whatever. But you just have to humble yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really dumb yourself down. And that's how you learn the most. Because you bringing your agenda, or you bringing your, idea or your knowledge, like, that has nothing to do, especially like Black Lives Matter, and really like getting out to people. Like, your agenda, your knowledge of whatever the hell is going on in this country has nothing to do like how you can learn about what's like, you know what I mean? Like, what is an everyday experience of a Black person? Like, you know nothing about that. Like, let me tell you, you know what I mean? Like, let me explain to you in the ways that I can. Or let me tell you some stories, examples, like, look what the hell is going on. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think I'm frustrated by that shit too? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't think that I'm done with seeing like
Yeah.
innocent black lives being killed like that. Of course I am. I'm probably more frustrated and more upset than you are seeing that in the news. Like if you could only take the time to really like dumb down, you know what I mean? Like start from ground zero and be like, you know what? Let me empty the space in my mind of what I think I know or whatever and like listen and learn. Like that's what I think people just don't know how to learn. They know how to acquire information. They know how to paraphrase. A lot of people paraphrase on words and make up shit, but like they don't know how to learn. So like that's where it comes down to too. Like if you don't know how to learn, then how can someone teach you?
It's a fact. Well, we've been rocking we're closing in on 2 hours. So real quick, any closing thoughts y'all want to leave the people with?
Yeah. All right. So let me stop playing. I know y'all see my beard, man. Stop playing with me. Don't make my joint looking nice. Yo, we're talking about Black Lives Matter and all this other good stuff. And for us to make a change and start somewhere, we have to support black businesses. So you see this beard right here? If you want my beard to be nice as, you know what I mean? You want to have your beard as nice as mine, you gotta hit on that. Bam! Nigga, hold on. Let me get it on focus. Hold on. Wait.
Herbal growth oil.
Right, bet. So you heard what AB said. So let me give you a little background on it. Yo, honestly, I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Mine's looking weak, Jeff.
I used to lose the coconut oil and joint, you know what I mean? And I switched over. You feel what I'm saying? I switched over, baby. So black businesses, baby, we switched over. So